welcome back to the show. We're always talking about wearing your sunscreen. There's so many different reasons why you should.
Yeah, and of course, so many people have rosacea in varying degrees, and that's what we're going to talk about today with Dr. Francis Jang, cosmetic dermatologist from Skinworks, and we are talking about acne rosacea. Not two separate things, same thing?
Well, basically the same thing, because rosacea has different forms, okay? And the one that most people will recognize is the red, sort of blushing, sort of sensitive skin person. Usually starts center of the nose, cheeks, but can involve the whole face. But it has another variant which can have a pimply component to it, therefore the name acne rosacea.
How common is rosacea in all its forms?
It's super common. So 1%, 2%, particularly in more fair-skinned people, but I also see it in a significant way in darker-skinned people, but it's not as frequently recognized.
Right.
Because their skin is darker.
Well, we were laughing just before we came to air about, you know, I have two little boys, 5 and 3, and they've got cute little apple cheeks and everything else, but that is, I mean,
it starts at a very, very early age, and we don't really recognize it as that, but it is exactly that, the little pink-cheeked kid. And whether it becomes ever problematic depends on the degree to which the skin deteriorates over time.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, obviously it starts at that stage, but it changes and...
Yeah, and so I'd say the typical age is often in their 20s or 30s when people come in and go, yeah, I've got this red skin, I don't really know what to do about it. I'm kind of bothered by the fact I can no longer use regular soaps, and I'm troubled by sunscreens. I know I should be using them.
Sometimes things like red wine and spicy food can make it flare up.
Definitely we have triggers, so we understand that there are certain things that make it flare more. So foods, you're right, spicy foods.
Can you tell I'm speaking from experience?
Caffeine is a big one. So, you know, it's hard to get rid of that completely, but I find there's a lot of people that drink 7 cups a day. Chocolate, citrus.
All the fun stuff.
All the good stuff. I once met a woman, the only alcohol she could drink that didn't flare her rosacea was vodka. So that was in the days when it wasn't...
That's both good news and bad news.
Dr. Jang, can I get a prescription for that, please? Okay, we're going to look at some pictures today, and we're looking at specifically acne rosacea, and this is the first patient here.
Yeah, so I'm just giving an example of the different kinds I was referring to. So this is a typical acne rosacea where it's got a very popular component to it, and he's actually got pustules. So sometimes this is mistaken as regular acne, but obviously he's not a teenager anymore. The other thing people will notice is that the actual little bumps don't really go away as quickly as an acne might, which will disappear within a number of days.
So how do you treat acne rosacea?
So acne rosacea can be treated in a similar way to regular acne, with both cream forms, prescription forms of antibiotics, as well as oral ones like tetracycline. But having said that, we certainly have other things that can help, and one of the new ones is called azelaic acid, which is also prescription. But I'm really excited about some new things that we have available to us now. Not to forget sunscreen, so I just included these because often rosacea patients, they should be using sunscreen SPF 30+ every day, but also they may require different kinds than regular chemical because of sensitivities. So they're going to react to the parabens and the oxybenzones. So we have a purely physical sunscreen for them. And so it should be used regularly because as we thin our skin with sun damage, the red is going to show through more. So it's really, really important that they get used to using that every day.
Right, and what is this one here?
This one is an antioxidant. So this is sort of a new thing that we've been using. This is a serum form of vitamin C. And vitamin C, we know, can help minimize the redness in the skin, but it also enhances an SPF's action.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really a helpful thing in rosacea patients.
And that's topical, obviously?
That's topical as well, and it's used on a daily basis. That is your more conventional prescription antibiotic, which is very effective for that bumpy part of rosacea. But that being said, when it's very severe, you may have to go to oral tetracycline, for example.
Right. And last but not least, I'm very intrigued by this one here.
This is the new breed of products that you'll start seeing coming out on the market. This one is a particular one by Skinmedica, and it's an anti-redness face cream. So we know that a lot of the redness is created by the dilation of blood vessels, and part of that is created by prostaglandins. So this is an anti-prostaglandin inhibitor. So when you put it on, it's a nice, soothing, non-irritating cream, and it'll actually help minimize the redness. And
okay, let's look at this fellow here.
So this is a more typical example of the red, veiny sort of person, and they may be mistaken for somebody who has who drinks too much.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's
we recognize the nose. We saw the nose earlier.
Same thing.
You know, you talk W.C. Fields, Bill Clinton, you know, I mean, all that kind of stuff. And it's there's a great example.
Yeah, and that, when it gets to this stage, really, we're really looking at laser treatments for these kind of people.
Okay.
Because those are too severe to treat with creams. And this one, when it gets to this stage, you have to sculpt it with a laser treatment or a scalpel. So that's more of an operative sort of thing.
Yeah. That doesn't sound a lot fun.
A little bit more radical.
Laser before afters that we're going to have a look at too, and the differences are amazing to me. Let's bring up the first before after here.
So I showed this woman not because she had a spectacular result, but I did this woman back in 2001 because we started experimenting with this kind of treatment, which is a light-based / laser-based treatment called intense pulse light, and that's what the IPL stands for. So this woman was in her 50s. She'd been taking oral tetracycline chronically for years.
And that's so bad.
And she still, as in the before side, which is on the left, she still had significant disease. She had bumps and she was red. So after one treatment, you can see how much that's improved.
Huge difference,
and off tetracycline.
And that was in 2001, and the lasers...
That was in 2001.
Yeah.
And while we still use that as a mainstay of treatment in rosacea for the redness, of course, the machines have gotten better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the
we
next
have another
one.
before and after, I believe, as well.
Yeah, so this is a man who came in, and he's not a beauty kind of guy, but he was a bit embarrassed because he felt that everybody was pigeonholing him into an alcoholic, somebody who drank too much. So he was very motivated to come and just have his nose treated.
Well, and that's so terrible because you can't go to a casual cocktail party, you have one drink and everyone's just like...
Yeah, and it does flush with alcohol, so that sort of reinforces that stereotypical etiology.
And it's interesting, we're seeing a lot of men in this. Is it more common in men, or are we just looking at more
No, I don't think
photos?
so. No, I think men don't like the part of it that, you know, the redness. They're very embarrassed with that, and they can't cover it with makeup.
True.
Yeah.
Right? Very true.
Yeah, good point.
So they're motivated to come in for treatment more early.
Okay, nice. And next one.
So this is somebody who has a little bit more of a papular or bumpy component to their rosacea, a little bit tougher to treat. So generally speaking, you'd need to be on oral antibiotics and or receive the laser treatment. So you can see the number of treatments. That's typical, 5 treatments.
But what a result, too. I mean...
Yeah, and importantly, we're not curing people, right? We're just pushing it back. They're going to get a period of what we call remission, or a period of time where there's not much going on. It's important for them to be using their sunscreen, probably putting on their antibiotic.
Yeah.
Well, I have the red cheeks, and if I don't wear sunscreen, I notice a huge difference.
Did you use one of the lasers?
I did. I didn't use the laser we're talking about. I've had the laser treatments from you for red cheeks because I'm blessed with pale skin.
We did something called the pulse dye laser on you, which is again, which is something that we use quite commonly, but it's more for the person who has more visible vessels on their face, but it's also a very effective treatment.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much, as usual.
Jang.
Some great
nice
information.
To see
you can find Dr. Jang, of course, at Skinworks. And if you do have a concern, go in, have a consultation, talk to them about what the options are, because you will be amazed at the transformative ability of Dr. Jang and her staff. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break.